I will have you state your name and your position and the food pantry, and then you will do the same after her.
Okay. Well, hello. My name is Nyjae Johnson. I am the case manager in the Dean of Students office here at Winston-Salem State University.
And what is your position at the food pantry, and how did you get involved?
I mean, basically, I run it, I guess. Mm-hmm. I came to the institution at first as a case manager for interpersonal violence prevention in Title IX. Eventually, because that position was grant funded, I switched to a plain case manager role in the Dean of Students office, and that included student resources, i.e. the Student Resource Center. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Alrighty, and your name and your position?
Well, hey, I am Dion Gaines, and here I am just an intern.
I'm not just an intern.
What is
the intern?
You are the
intern.
Right.
I got connected with the Student Resource Center through the social work program here.
Alrighty. And how does this food pantry serve the community?
I mean, we try and fill the gap in where a lot of food insecurity doesn't. What am I trying to say? Food insecurity is very prevalent on our campus, so because of that, we're trying to fill in the gap with the Student Resource Center. Everything in here is free of charge. Everything we get is donated to us, or the money that we use for the food in here or clothing is donated to us. So everything is donated, not out of our own pockets, not out of the institution's pockets. But yeah, we try to fill those gaps where we know they are.
Right. How has the need for food assistance changed in recent years?
Given the current economic climate that we're in,
it hasn't. It got worse.
Yeah. Truly, it has. The demand has definitely, I'd say tripled, because of the amount that we have available now. I feel like that has increased the demand. Prices of everything externally are just so high that if you can find something here for free, then of course you can grab it.
Right. Let's see. So I know that recently the food pantry has moved from a small room, to say the least, in DJR to a much bigger room
Very small room.
in Thompson Center. What were some of the obstacles that had to be overcome during the move from one building to another?
Honestly, just having the hands to be able to make the move happen. We had Allegacy employees that volunteered from the company itself that came. Cannot remember the name off the top of my head, but they came during winter break. We were able to transition everything over from the old space to the new with them. We only had them for like 2 hours, so we were able to do what we could in those 2 hours. But we got a lot done. A lot of work was finished. We moved, of course, everything over in that one day. So everything else that we had, we pretty much set up for those next couple of days. But we made it happen. It was just the amount of hands that was the issue. Yeah.
Alrighty. And how does it feel to see the impact of your work on the community?
Very rewarding. Because I know, and because I work in the Dean of Students office, I get applications for homeless students. I get applications for students who are wards of the state, 17 years old, and are considered wards of the state, still don't have parents. And so to have resources like this here where they don't have to go anywhere, because 9 times out of 10 they don't have a car, so where they don't have to travel anywhere and they can walk right down to Thompson and get whatever they need for free, it's very rewarding. And I meet those students personally. Like I have personal meetings with those students and connections with those students, so it means a lot. It does.
Also, just going off of what she's saying, just not even just people who are less fortunate, but just the university as a whole, just being able to come together and provide a space to where people won't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, or how they can, just come and afford to look presentable, look nice, and be able to represent themselves well. Just being able to have that, it says a lot amongst our community.
All right, and last question. Without sharing names, obviously, because there is a confidentiality agreement with the food pantry and career closet. Without sharing names, is there a particular story that stands out to you about someone this pantry has helped?
Yes, there's students who stay on campus over break, sometimes over winter break, and a lot of times, and it it switches every now and then through the semesters, but sometimes we'll provide food for the students and sometimes we won't. In the situations where we won't, to have a resource like this available is pertinent because those students, because they're here, a lot of times they're not able to go home. Whether it's home situations aren't the best, so they can't go home, or they don't have a home to go to, or they, it's situations like that. Of course, it has to kind of be not a dire need, but you have to have some good reasoning to stay on campus. But there was one student who was staying on campus during winter break, and she had nothing. Like, she had nothing. And so, of course, I don't want to go and get too much into it, too much detail, but I was able to provide her with pretty much all that she needed for the winter break, and she was very, 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 very appreciative because she didn't even have work. Like, she didn't have a work study job. She didn't work herself. She's a student who frequents my office, so I see her on a consistent basis. So I keep up with her, but to see her face light up when I was able to give her what she needed was it warmed my heart. And she has a cat, so it helped her cat too.
Yay!
Yeah.
For you, Dion?
As for me, I don't really have anybody in particular, but I think what I enjoy is being able to see people come in and honestly, they're grateful. A lot of stuff in life we take for granted, but just being able to see like people come in and they're grateful that this is here. They acknowledge that the work that state is doing. I think that's what I enjoy the most.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Of course.
Y'all were great. Gave great answers. Yeah.
Thank you for having us. Bye.